everyone. Welcome to this episode of People Actually. We're so excited today. We have Biz from IBM. We're going to talk all sorts of innovation and AI. So thanks for joining us today. Biz, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We're so lucky to have you here in Manhattan at IBM's corporate headquarters. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Dziarmaga. I'm the Vice President of AI Partnerships for the Americas. I've actually been at IBM my entire career, so about 18 years. Wow. I can't believe it.
So you started when you were 15?
I did start when I was 15.
All right, good for you.
I'm glad you caught that one.
Overachiever. Okay.
So I actually spent my first 15 years at IBM in finance, and I actually pivoted to sales in the last couple of years.
No way.
Yeah, so I've actually I lived in Spain for 3 years with IBM. I've worked in Denmark. I've worked in Israel. I started my career in China.
Wow.
I really wanted to get more into the relationship side, into the sales side. So I've spent the last 3 years both on post-sales support. Mm-hmm. So once a partner is already an IBM client, and then shifted into direct sales. Yeah. And I'm running the Embed AI program. So I'm working with partners and clients that are embedding IBM technology into commercially available solution or service, like Employ. You're one of my favorite clients to work with.
Absolutely.
Don't tell my other clients.
We're here, but with IBM, that's how we're able to really safeguard the use of AI and then really help talent professionals to hire people in a way that's safe and protecting the candidates too. So we love our partnership with IBM.
Yeah, I think that's really important. What we've seen over the last 12 months was that companies were really just experimenting with AI, right? They're doing a lot of POCs, a lot of MVPs, starting to understand AI capability. But now we've started shifting into production, right? So you're building out a solution and you're focusing on your targeted use cases to drive better outcomes for your clients that let you drive more revenue or drive better productivity. And when you're building that strategy, the governance framework has to be an integral part of it. It can't be an afterthought, right? You need to make sure that there's transparency, your AI is explainable, there's no bias. And the companies that are doing it really well, the trust and governance is at the heart of their strategy.
Totally. So let's talk a little bit about do you think we're already at a point where everyone's just embracing AI and then trusting AI, or we're still in the early innings? Because everyone's talking about AI every day and it's on every headline, but where do you think we are in that journey?
Yeah, I still think we're really early in the journey that's gonna, this is gonna be, agentic AI is really gonna be as big as the internet, and I think next will be, you'll start seeing a shift into quantum. But
I'm not ready for that. Yeah.
But I think where we are in the journey is that everyone sees the value of AI. It's, we're using it internally at IBM as our own client zero, and we've saved over $4.5 billion using our own AI across finance, HR, sales, marketing. And what I think is so powerful about AI is it's not replacing our workforce, but it's creating more meaningful work. Yeah. So in the HR space that you guys are in, it takes a lot of these tasks that used to be really manual and it fully automates them.
Absolutely.
So that our HR professionals are focusing on tasks that require more empathy or more decision making. And where IBM really resonates is in the regulated markets where trust and transparency is key. So we're seeing more people move from experimentation. So using AI to do everything from writing thank you notes to your doorman, which I do in New York City, to solving your math homework for your kids, to more targeted use cases. And I think we're going to really start seeing AI take off. And you sell your solution for $1 a user. How do you leverage AI to take that price up to $1.20, right? Yeah. Or how do you make your workforce more productive, right? So that they can focus on more complex tasks.
Yeah. Those are some really good anecdotes there, because now we're getting into the technicality of AI too. In some of our previous episodes, everyone's talking about how AI is enhancing the talent manager's livelihood, because we're able to cut down some of the mundane, more repeatable tasks. But then I think without the governance and the trust and the transparency like you talked about, it is really hard to bring AI into a recruiter's workflow, because we're dealing with people's livelihood, right? And so
I think that's a really important point. I mean, I think in the HR space that you're in, you have to acknowledge everyone is going to use AI to build their resume, right? Yes. I mean, if you have access to a calculator to do a math test, you're going to leverage the calculator, and you should, because you're going to need to leverage that tool to be more productive and make better decisions. So when you're in the HR space, now all of a sudden you have more applications, because it's easy to spit out, 20 resumes now. Yeah. And everyone's resume looks pretty much the same way.
Yes.
And what I love about Employ is that you're using AI across your entire hiring cycle so that you can make sure that you're selecting the right candidates, right? You can use AI to screen resumes. You can use AI to screen the candidates, right? So then you get a slate that you can explain, because you can explain the decisions on how you were selected to be interviewed for the role.
Yep.
It's transparent. It's open. There's no bias, that you're getting the best candidate for the right role. And I think that's a great use case on how employees using AI.
Yeah, absolutely. And without you guys, without IBM's technology, we could have not actually put all the guardrails and the governance around it too. So, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think that's a huge misconception, is that a lot of people think AI and the trust and security should be at the end of the process. I'd argue you want that governance. You start with it. You should create that framework, so that if you want to do AI well and you want to scale, thinking about governance actually allows you to move faster in a more thoughtful way, so that you make innovation a repeatable process.
Yeah, the way I describe it is, you know your arena and you know where the walls are, and then you can run as fast as within that.
Yeah, and I mean,
innovate.
I would love, when I'm interviewing for a role, that someone can explain to me, you know, you were not selected for this role because we leveraged AI and you didn't meet these 3 things that we're looking for. That allows me to be more prepared going into future interviews.
Yeah.
And I feel confident because you're explaining that, yes, we're leveraging AI, but we're also bringing humans into the loop, because you have that intuition, you have that experience that this makes my job a lot easier. I have 5 great candidates, but then you're using a human in the loop to make sure you're selecting the right candidate for that role.
I think using AI can be really objective if it's done right. Like you say, it's like kind of set up the proper governance. And then so tell us a little bit around, just you talked about your long tenured career here at IBM, and it is a place that's really thrive in innovation. So what are some of the things that you're seeing right now in terms of the application of AI, where AI is going internally? Because you talked about every part of your job, like even just stepping into the studio today, we were talking about usage of AI too. So
we were talking about right before we came in here, in order to finalize the podcast that you guys are watching, they're actually going to leverage AI to merge all the videos
with 3 different camera angles. With 3
different angles, which is so exciting. And what I think is so exciting about this point in time is that every single person at IBM, and I'm assuming Employ as well, is we're using AI in our day-to-day job. So for me to sell AI, or for my colleagues to sell AI, I'm just talking about how I'm using it to be a better worker. So in sales, I'm sure you as well, we both have very little kids. I have a 4 and 7-year-old. But between 8 to 10 p.m., I would spend time researching my clients, right? I want to be the most prepared person in that room. I would spend a lot of time putting together a PowerPoint. And now I'm using AI tools, right? I can search up, you know, what does Employ do? How much revenue? Are they already using AI? How can we enhance your strategy, right? And make your AI platform even better? I can create a PowerPoint. So now that allows me to spend more time meeting with clients, doing podcasts, presenting on a panel with you in an hour or so. So I think what's so exciting about this time is that everyone is using AI, and everyone can talk to the value that it brings, both for their own productivity, but also how to bring more value to their clients.
Yeah, I was telling Biz that instead of preparing a PowerPoint presentation at 10 p.m. last night, I used AI to create a lullaby for my younger son. And you can plug in all his favorite things, cartoon characters, and then just beautiful melody. It's just really amazing what AI can do.
Yeah. It's exciting. Like, you can pretty much use we could brainstorm like 5 different topics right now, and we could talk about how AI could make the experience better for the person using it.
In terms of, let's talk a little bit about future, because we're in the early innings, and where do you think AI is going, and like the way it's innovating, and like everyone talks about the new LLMs and between Anthropic and GPT, and just the models are changing so rapidly. How about on the back end, like the infrastructure or the governance? Do you think that's evolving as quickly, or is so much of just like kind of we're in a way sort of reacting where AI is going to?
Yeah, I think AI will continue to evolve. What I would say, the 4 things that I think are really important when you're analyzing your AI strategy is, number 1, you need it to be open, right? There's not going to be one model or one agent that rules it all. And I always tell my clients, if you're using AI and it's working, don't rip and replace out with IBM. Let's talk about how we can drive more synergy with your strategy, how we can enhance it. And you're going to see more and more clients leveraging different large language models and agents across different platforms. And I think that's great, right? Our strategy at IBM is hybrid cloud and AI. So we're going to meet you where you are, whether you're running on your own data center, you're running on a different cloud platform. I think you guys run on AWS.
That's right.
So it's really about meeting your clients where they are and being open, right? You're going to continue to see some companies like IBM do really, really well at governance, where, you know, hyperscalers like AWS have their own unique differentiator. The second is being really targeted. When you look at some of these large language models that are 100 billion parameters, they become really expensive. And some
those
of those
tokens add up.
The tokens add up, and these smaller large language models like IBM Granite perform just as well as a fraction of the cost.
Which we love, by the way.
So it's really understanding, don't try to be everything. Build your AI to solve your use case that provides better outcomes for your clients, whether that helps them generate more revenue or drive productivity. The next is trust. Like security and governance has got to be at the heart of your strategy. And those that embrace it are going to be the ones that are going to win, and they're going to dominate this market. And the last is about being empowered. So it's how do you leverage your data, which is often your secret sauce, to solve your problem for your clients, and you're going to meet them wherever they are, right? Depending whether they're on cloud, on-prem, et cetera. We're going to create a strategy that helps solve problems for your clients.
Thank you. And then so the way I think about, for us, the most important thing for AI is that it shows up in ways that helping our talent professionals in their workflow. So we're not inserting AI for the sake of having AI, but if we believe we could get them home to their kids a little bit earlier because we're helping them screen resumes in a way that's very thoughtful, very responsible, and objective, that's how we're going to bring transparency and governance around like AI capabilities.
Yeah, I mean, one of my really good friends went to college to be an HR professional, and he always says to me, Biz, I didn't go to college to like transfer an employee from me to Jerry, right? And back in the day when we had to do that, you'd had to use multiple systems. I literally had on my board like 30 steps that I had to follow. So these are not meaningful jobs. Like, you're 22, you don't want to do that as your career. So it's shifting to work that's much more impacting to the organization. It's much more meaningful. It's much more exciting. So do we still need HR professionals? 100%, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But now if AI can screen the resumes for you, which is very time consuming, and you really don't know, are they being honest, right? Now you have AI telling you, like, you know, this resume is 90% confidence that it's factual and this is the right candidate. It allows them to spend more time in the interview process, getting to know the candidates, you know, having them do work to see if they can do the job. So you're more confident that you're hiring the right people for the role, and you're also more confident that your retention will be positive because they're more likely to be happy and fulfilled and succeed in the role. So not only does the company win, but also your employees win.
Absolutely. And that's, at the end of it, that's what it's all about, right? So are there things that, as you know, with young kids, what are some of the things that you're wanting to make sure your kids learn about in a time of AI?
Yeah, I mean, I think that AI can be really scary. And that's why I push so much on using it appropriately, having it be explainable, have it be transparent, because children have access to so much information. There's so much on social media. So there's definitely education and enablement that I do with my children to make sure that they're using AI responsibly as well, because they know how to use the internet better than I do.
I know. It's scary, right? It's a scary thought.
And I think for consumers, right, you use different tools and you do lots of Q&A and you have no idea how that data is being used. So when it comes to education and enablement, I think you'll see more and more children learning at a young age about AI and how to use it appropriately. And that's where that trust, that security has to be critical when it comes to how our children are brought up in the world.
So Biz, before we get to
the
rapid
fun part.
The fun part. And by the way, I feel like with your name, you have to be just a badass business executive.
So, thank you.
Are there any AI tools that you personally are really fond of that you just becoming like just a part of your life now?
Yeah, so I would say, well, at IBM, we actually use Copilot. So I find that incredibly helpful to research my clients. We also have a new device called Watson X Workshop that we've launched, and it allows me to research different products and get more in depth. It can also help you actually do like a mock client discussion to make sure you're asking the right questions. It can help you prepare presentations. So again, back to, if you have a calculator, you should use the calculator to get the right answer. I think every one of us should be using AI on a day-to-day basis to do our jobs more efficiently. I mean, I spent 15 years in finance. My first couple of years were, writing journals, trying to analyze numbers and put together growth charts and expense charts. I wished I had the ability at that time to use AI to provide all those insights so that I could spend more time on what's our strategy.
The strategic
How do we execute on the recommendations that AI is telling us? Yeah. So I love AI. I use it every day. I hope everyone is using AI every day because it allows us to be more effective, and it also gives us more time for personal health, time with family, time with friends, time with our children. Yeah. And I think the more balanced you are in life, the better you're going to do at work, right? When you have time for yourself.
Yeah. All right, we're going to wrap up by getting to know business a little bit. Yeah. If you could have an anthem for work or just your walk on stage song, what would it be?
So it would be 500 miles.
Oh, that's a good one.
I travel a lot with my kids. My husband's from Poland. So every time we're on a road trip, we always blast that song. So it's kind of my happy space when I hear that song go.
That's all.
Hopefully it's playing right now in the podcast.
We will. We'll cue it up. Morning or night person?
I am a night person for sure.
Okay, so coffee or tea?
Coffee.
What is the one snack you always have on those road trips with your husband and 2 kids?
So this is actually hilarious, but it was just Mother's Day. And
happy belated.
Thank you. And my 4-year-old had to do questions like, what's your favorite drink? What's your favorite food? There was 10 questions, of which 7 of them were around goldfish. So my favorite food is goldfish. Apparently I smell like goldfish. And my son, my 4-year-old, loves me because we both like goldfish. So I'm going to have to, apparently I eat goldfish a lot, so I'll have to stick with goldfish.
It could be a lot worse. I think goldfish is a good one. What is one phrase that you think is overused right now in the AI sphere?
Yeah, I would say agentic AI. I think a lot of people think that asking questions in a chat and having it send back an answer is agentic. Mm-hmm. So we are heading towards agentic. I would say most people that think they're using agentic AI are not. Mm-hmm. Agentic is really when you can use these tools to actually make decisions on your behalf, right? So
agents.
An agent, for example. So when we go back to transferring a manager, just typing it in and having it actually complete that task is more on the agentic framework. So I always kind of roll my eyes when someone says, oh, I'm using agentic AI. And I'm like, tell me more. Tell me about how you're using
Prompting is not agentic AI. That's right. Yeah. Well, on that note, thank you so much for having us today at IBM headquarters. Biz, we love working with you and your teams, and thank you for everything.
Of course, we love working with Employ, and I'm excited to see where our partnership goes. I know it'll continue to grow. And thank you all for spending a little bit of time with us today. It's been fun.
Absolutely. Well, everyone, there you have it. Biz, from all the way from Manhattan. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
People Actually is a production of Employ Inc. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Employ or any affiliated or represented organizations.